my sweet friend. Happy 2022. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. All the things. I know that it's January and you're like, Mandy, Christmas is done and over. No, ma'am, sir. It is not in my book. Christmas is like all December, all January, maybe even a little bit of February when we reach Valentine's Day. Like that is what it is in my heart. And you can't say anything to change my mind. Okay, so you saw the title of this episode, and I'm so glad that you're listening because I'm sure anybody that sees an episode about goal setting, they're like, skip. I'm not doing this. So I'm really happy that you decided to listen because this isn't going to be your average goal setting episode. I really want to help you set some goals, but more importantly, I want to help you plan to achieve those goals. So to give you a little bit of background on myself and goal setting, a little bit of history here, I love to set goals, but I rarely achieve them because I don't plan. I don't plan out, the steps necessary to reach those goals. So it's all fun and games and it feels really good. And everybody is in such a great mood in the beginning of January, right? Because it's like new year, new me, going to do such great things in 2020. It's going to be such a great year. And then one thing happens to derail them. And they're like, this year is crap. So I want to help you avoid that whole this year is crap moment because guaranteed there's going to be something that comes up that totally bums you out. But I don't want it to bum you out to the degree that you stop going after your goals. So in today's episode, it's going to be pretty short and sweet, but I really want to go over just some key things to help you not only plan your goals, because that's really the fun part, but then also planning the steps to achieve them. So before I continue on, I just want to make a quick little announcement that I'm sure you've heard me talk about the Fierce Social Society membership. It officially launched on January 3rd. And previously I talked about closing enrollment and only opening it a couple times a year. So over that time between Christmas and the new year, essentially, I was getting quite a few messages. And after talking to my business coach about what these messages were saying, basically of Mandy, I missed the deadline. I saw the replay. This was so helpful. Or it's not in my budget right this second, but I know it will be soon when you opening again. And it just kind of tugged at my heart a little bit, but I'm going to be so honest from a business perspective, this was the strategy that I wanted to implement for just opening it a couple times a year. So after I talked to my business coach, she kind of called me out a little bit like, Mandy, I know that your mission is to help and serve and love people. Like that is why people follow you, is that you are such a person with a heart of service. And like, not to totally agree with her, but yeah, that's my overall mission. No matter what I'm doing, I just want to serve and help people. And when she kind of called me out, like, it's kind of like gatekeeping a little bit when you're only opening enrollment certain times of the year. And what if that time of the year is just not right for your ideal person? And it just was like, oh, dang, you are so right. So I have completely done away with the closed enrollment idea. Enrollment is open all year long, all day, every day, anytime that you are ready to jump into this membership. I would be honored and privileged to have you inside the Fierce Social Society membership. I would love to have you there. If you have any questions about whether it is a good fit for you, I would love for you to DM me on Instagram or send me an email at fiercesocialsociety@gmail.com. So let's talk, see if it's a good fit. If you have been wanting to be a part of the membership, good news, enrollment is open and I'd love to see you in there. Okay, let's get into goal setting for 2022. So a little bit of backstory. Again, I love to set goals, but I was horrible at achieving them. Like, it's so great to be like, I'm going to lose this much weight and I'm going to read these many books and I'm going to make this much money and blah, 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 blah. And then you even get more broad with, I want to be consistent and I want to connect with people and I want to do this. And while all of that is really well and good, if you don't actually have a plan to achieve each one of those things broken down either by quarter or by month, girl, I'm going to tell you right now, you are setting yourself up for failure. So the other thing that I see a lot of people doing is limiting themselves to one or two goals. Like, why not get a little bit greedy here for a second? And again, not limit yourself to, I don't want to set too many goals, or, I don't think I can really achieve this. So I don't really actually know what's possible. I completely understand all of that because I've totally done that myself. And maybe you're listening to this thinking like, that's me too. I don't think I can do, this, that, and the third. And I don't know what's possible. Let me tell you, the idea of I don't know what's possible held me back for so long. And the reason is I didn't know what was a realistic goal. What can I achieve? Now, obviously, we know certain things like I want to lose 50 pounds in a month. Like we know that's not realistic, nor is it healthy, right? Maybe it's 5 pounds in a month. Maybe it's pushing 10, but we all know that that's very specific to the type of person, right? Like not everybody can just drop 10 pounds in a month, but some people can. Other people, it's maybe 8 pounds. But what if you were to set a goal for reading 3 books a month and you only read 2? Are you really going to beat yourself up that you only read 2? Because at least you read 2, right? So I really want you to get rid of the idea of like, I don't know what's realistic. I think you need to trust yourself and give yourself a little bit more credit that you know what's possible. You know what's achievable when it comes to certain things. But if you fall short a little bit, at least you still tried and you achieved something instead of doing nothing at all. So I want you to keep that in mind when you're thinking about the things that you want to achieve this year. Okay, when we're talking about setting some goals, whether it's personal or business or lifestyle or mental or health or whatever it is, I want you to, brain dump everything. I want you to at least have a goal in each category. So have something for business, have something for yourself, whether that's a health, maybe there's a couple subcategories, but have something for health, have something for mindset, fuel your soul, fuel your spirit, fuel your mind with something, and then have something for maybe your relationships or your marriage. I was about to say marriages. Hopefully you don't have multiple marriages at the same time. Just one marriage at a time, please. Or your relationships, whether that's friendships, your family, your marriage, and have something for each one of those categories. I do have a template for you to check out. It's going to be in the show notes below that has all these categories ready for you. And actually, I have some of my goals that are in this template. So you are getting a glimpse into my 2022 goals, which is kind of vulnerable, but like if I can't hold myself accountable, maybe you will. So that template is going to be in the show notes for you to check out and utilize for yourself. It is in a format of an iPhone screensaver lock screen. So you can change out the screen behind it. You can change the font, you can change the colors, and use that to put on your phone so you see it every single day. So what I like to do when I've set my big, scary, audacious goals for 2022, I then will break them down either into quarters or months. So this is very dependent on how you function. And what I mean by that is, do you need to be held accountable on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on monthly, or can you actually achieve things every single quarter and be good to go? Me personally, I need a little bit more specific accountability. So I broke mine down into months. So if you maybe have a sales goal of, whatever number, and you want to sell a certain amount of product, you want to bring in a certain amount of customers, or maybe it's sell a certain amount of packages for something. And if you're in the service industry, or you book clients, if you're a realtor or a hairdresser, think about how many clients or customers or products you need to sell in order to achieve that. What does that look like every single month? Where are those numbers coming from? If you generate multiple revenue streams, I want you to break that down. What is your average every single month for each of those things? Where can you push a little bit more to make more with this revenue stream? Or where can you add on one more customer to this revenue stream? What I mean by that, to be very literal, is I have my coaching business. I have my influencer business. I'm not really sure what else to call that, but that contains brand partnerships and collaborations that I do, and I'm getting paid to create that content. And then I have my Saint business. So I have multiple revenue streams. So I took what I typically make for Saint and I subtracted that from my now monthly goal. So I have a yearly goal that I've made for myself, and I've broken that down into 12 months. Then I take what I make on average for Saint, I subtracted that. So now I'm left with this not bigger number, but smaller number. All right, so that gives me my sales goal for the month, What do I need to do? How many memberships do I need to sell? Or how many new enrollments do I need to get? Or how many one-on-one clients? Does that look like one brand partnership a month, right? Do you see how I'm breaking this down even further instead of just like, here's my sales goal for the year, right? You got to back engineer it and figure out how much of this do I need to sell? How many new customers do I need to get, right? Another great goal that I think everybody should have is, as far as like mindset and health, is if you're wanting to get on the train of working out and eating healthy, which I'm pretty sure is almost everybody at any given time. For me, to be very literal again, I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds in a year. Whether I get to that by, July, or maybe I get to it by December 31st, 2022, I don't care. But I've broken that down by months. So in my first month, I've kind of gotten a little bit more aggressive. I know that I can drop 5 pounds pretty easily in a month just by changing my diet, which is wild to me. But I know myself personally well enough that from the first month onwards, first month is maybe 5 pounds, and then onwards, it's probably 1 to 2 pounds a month. So that I've planned accordingly. Another goal that I have for myself is to read more. I want to make sure that I'm fueling my mind, whether it's for fun or if it's for business. So I want to read 25 books in 2022. So that roughly adds up to 2 books a month, with one of those months being 3 books. So I'm counting that as an Audible book because I listen on the go. I count that as a business or a fun book. I would like to have one of each every single month, just so I'm reading for fun. I'd like to expand my vocabulary, and the only way that I'm going to do that is reading. So when you're looking at these bigger goals, I feel like sky's the limit. Don't limit yourself to what you think is realistic. I did that in 2021, where I just went for really big goals, and I told my mentor about it. I told my husband about it. I told my business coach about it. And none of them said, I don't think that's achievable. They were more so like, great, go for it. How are you going to achieve it? I loved that they asked, how are you going to achieve it? Because otherwise I'm really not going to be able to get to these goals by the end of the year. So first off, I'd like to share that I have a really handy Canva template for you. It is a iPhone lock screen kind of design. You can use it for Android as well. But I love to have it on my phone so that I am constantly reminded of the goals that I'm going after in 2022, and even more specifically for this month. I've decided to break down my goals by month because that is just how I process and how I can set myself up for success. That might be different for you. Maybe you need it by the quarter, maybe you need it by the day, or maybe you need it by the month like me. So I have those templates available for you. That link is going to be in the show notes below. I always point like this because of my YouTube days. I know that you're probably listening on the podcast, but if you're watching the video here on YouTube, then I point at the notes below. Don't mind that. Old habits die hard. Okay, so when we're talking about goals, I have 5 different categories that I want you to think about when you're setting some goals for 2022. The first and foremost is faith. Faith is super important to me. It is the foundation and the rock of my life. Whatever that looks like for you, I want you to set some kind of goal for faith. Something in your family. This can be family, friends, relationships, in your marriage, in your connections, something for family. Your business, definitely some things for your businesses, if you have multiple or if you just have one. Health and fitness, this can also play into the mindset and mental health game, as well as a personal and lifestyle goal. So you can obviously have multiple goals in each category, but these are just the bulk categories that I want you to kind of get thinking about or get your wheels turning for. Okay, something that I want you to avoid is being really general with goals. I don't want to hear anything. Like, obviously, you're not going to come and tell me. If you come and tell me, I would love for you to. We actually put this exact template in my free Facebook group, the Fear Social Society. So I would love for you to find that post. I'm actually going to pin it to the top of the page when you get into the group, free to join. And I would love for you to come in and tell me your goals. I think this holds yourself accountable a little bit more. I think we can, not even I think, we can get really specific with them too. I'm going to ask you some clarifying questions like, how are you going to get there? what do you need to do in order to achieve this, or what needs to happen? So then it just becomes more real. When you say things out loud, I don't know about you, but when I say things out loud, it just becomes that much more solidified and real. So I encourage you to do the exact same thing. Come join the Facebook group because it's fun in general. What I don't want you to do, like I was saying, is be really general with your goals. Like I don't want to hear you say, I want to be more consistent, or I want to make more connections, or I want to find the joy in every single day. Like, sister friend, let's get specific about these. What do you mean be consistent? Be consistent with what? Making your bed, brushing your teeth, taking a shower. I know that all those things you're like, Mandy, shouldn't you be doing this every day? I don't know your life, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what like your daily life looks like. Okay. Get specific with those goals. Okay. So let's pretend like you actually have a goal of making your bed every day. What do you need to do? Or I'm sorry, you have a goal of being consistent. And that looks like, I want to make my bed every day. That goal then needs to look like, I want to make my bed every day. That's so specific. That can be on your daily to-do list, make my bed. I have a daily goal of reading my Bible every single day. I do not want to miss a daily devotional ever. Okay. How I've held myself accountable is I take notes from my devotional in a separate notebook, and I will actually put the next day's date so that it is like, you will be here on January 12th, and we will be talking about this. We will be doing our devotional today. So I'm already setting myself up for, okay, I'm going to see you tomorrow, right? Whatever you need to do for yourself in your mind, do it. This goes into my next goal of working out 5 times a week. I am not going to set myself up for failure and think that I'm going to just jump into working out 5 times a week when I've never been able to do that. So doing that cold turkey, like some people, I will give you credit. If you can do that, some people have absolutely been able to do that and crush it, right? I'm not that person. I'm not one of them peeps. I can't, so I'm not. I'm not going to do that to myself. So what I have set up is in the month of January, I'm going to do this for a quarter. So January, February, March, I'm going to make it my goal to work out 3 times a week. Okay, that doesn't feel as daunting. 5 times feels like a lot. So I'm going to do 3 times. If I do more, I do more. Great. Once I get in the mode of going to the gym, like I want to go all the time. It just becomes a habit. So my intention here is that I set up a habit for myself so I don't even have to think about it. Working out consistently is a big struggle for me, and I've not been able to find anything that works. So I'm going to do something completely different of, all right, then I'm going to start off really small and I'm going to start working out 3 times a week. I can do that. And maybe the other times I'm walking Moses, or going outside with him for a little bit and running around our backyard. Set yourself up for success as much as you can, especially if it is a goal that you're like, holy crap, I don't even know if I can do that. I've never done that in my entire life. I've failed miserably so many other times. What can I do differently? So this is one of those things. First of all, give yourself grace and play to your strengths. If breaking it down smaller, more attainable makes it feel better, just do that. I would much rather you do that than do nothing at all. Okay. When it comes to revenue or business or sales goals, I also don't want you to say blanket statements like, I want to sell or, have $1,000 in sales or, however much money in 2022. Yes, that's great, but I want to know where that's coming from. I want you to write that down. Obviously, you don't have to tell me, but I want you to write that down. How I've done that for myself. You're going to see this in the template, but I want to earn 150 in revenue this year. That to me is a pretty big number. For you, it might not be, or for you, it might be terrifyingly huge, right? These are my numbers, right? First of all, I don't want you to do the comparison game. I looked at my numbers from last year and I am stretching. This is a stretch goal. This is really big. I've broken it down by 12 months. And I've taken each revenue stream that I have. So me specifically, I have a few, but my 3 core are my coaching business, my partnerships and influencer type things where I do brand campaigns or do content for partnerships. And then I also have Saint, my direct sales business. So I have 3 main revenue streams that are bringing in consistent income. So I took the average of what Saint brought in for me, because it's a lower number, what Saint brought in for me, and I subtract that by my bigger number. And then coaching is going to make up probably the bulk of that, and potentially a brand partnership as well. So brand partnerships aren't as consistent as, say, like my coaching and my Saint. Saint and coaching are like the most consistent 2 things that I have. So I'm first going to subtract Saint, and then we're going to look at coaching, and then I'm going to look at where I can maybe make up a little bit with my brand. So do you see how I'm like really getting specific of where these numbers are coming from and how each one plays into this overall goal? So does it make it as daunting? On top of that, let's pretend like I still have, X amount of sales I need to make for the month. I've subtracted my average from Saint. I've subtracted, solidified brand partnerships that I have for that month. I'm then going to look at that number and divide that by the current product offers that I have. So that's coaching services, my membership. So how many members do I need to get in my membership to meet that goal? It's, 10 people. Okay. Well, then I need to go get to work and get 10 people into my membership. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have conversations in the DMs. I'm going to talk about it during my lives. I'm going to talk about it during my webinar that I'm going to be offering every other Monday. If I only need to get 10 people for this month, all right, I'm going to divide that by 4, and that's math, but that's 2 weeks of 3 membership, 3 people, and the other 2 weeks are 2. Okay, I have it broken down. I'm ready to go. Right? Do you see when you break these goals down so much smaller, do you see how much more attainable they feel? And they're not as scary and they're not as daunting. And before you know it, you're going to be knocking goals out of the park, and you're going to be so geared up for your business and for your life and for your relationships and for everything that you have set for yourself in 2022. You can totally do it. You just need to break it down. Break it down now. I don't know what I'm doing. Please ignore that little spit that just happened. I highly encourage you to go check out the Canva. Go check out the Canva template. Go check out the Canva template that I have linked in the show notes, as well as if you're watching this video on YouTube, it's in the notes below as well. Totally free, don't have to pay for anything, and you can make it your own with text, colors, and your background. But I really do encourage you to put that on your phone so that you can see it every day. And even more so, I would love for you to come and join the Fierce Social Society Facebook group. Again, totally free for you to come and join, meet some other entrepreneurs that are just hungry for the same things that you are, of business growth and Instagram growth and just seeing growth overall in their lives. So come on in and join, and I would love for you to share your goals, and let's see how we can break them down further. I hope you enjoyed this little goal setting episode. It probably hopefully wasn't what you were expecting, of like, let's just, fluffy, no, we're not going to be fluffy. We're not fluffy here. Hopefully you know me better by now that I don't like fluff, don't like filler. I like to get straight to the point, and I kind of like to give you what somebody said in a review, which, by the way, for those of you that have left reviews on this podcast, I am so grateful. I kind of surprised myself. I was looking at the podcast and trying to get it linked with something else, and realized I had a whole bunch of reviews I hadn't read. And somebody said it's the kick in the pants that I need every single week. And I love that. I would love to kick you in the pants in the most loving way possible. Whatever you need to just get going in your business, to just get going on Instagram, to get going in your life, like, I'm here for it. Again, I would love to see your beautiful face in the membership. If not in the membership, get into that free Facebook group, Fierce Social Society. Again, I will link all of that below. I am so excited to see what you achieve in 2022. Please let me be along for the ride. I just want to cheer you on, give you advice, give you help, strategize, get you geared up for this year, because you are meant to do great things. And I can't wait to watch you do them.